But John, what you didn't say about Devin Singletary is this guy only got 15 or more carries, what, four times in the whole season. Dude, there was a whole stretch of like 6 or 7 games where he got seven or less carries. Against these Buccaneers, he had four attempts for 52 yards. Like, again, it goes back to my point. Sean McDermott doesn't call running plays. So yes, you can say he's not performing against playoff teams. I say Sean McDermott's not giving the running backs the opportunities to do that because he just believes in Josh Allen. And I think, again, this is very much like Mike Shanahan and RG3, where he used and abused RG3, and eventually we saw the outcome. Now RG3 is more fragile than Josh Allen. I will give you that. Less smaller, slight of frame. Josh Allen's a big boy, but John's boy, Big Ben, how many injuries accumulated? And Big Ben's not the runner Josh Allen is, but they are compared to each other because of their stature and how they shrug off defenders when they get into the pocket and try and sack them. We saw how Big Ben's career started to wind down, how that arm wasn't the same. Again,
Ben was also in his late 40s when he started to slow down, or late 30s.
But that's why I said there was a difference in Ben. Ben didn't run like Josh Allen. Josh Allen runs. So now imagine if Big Ben ran like Josh Allen. Do you think he would have made it to his late 30s? There's no.
Big Ben played AFC North football. I mean, he was a pretty tough guy.
All right, but your body can only take so much. You can be a tough guy, but when your body shuts off, your body shuts off.
He's the most sacked quarterback of all time, so he took as many hits as any running style quarterback.
Okay,
overall.
But now add on top him running. Now add on top him running.
Yeah, but Josh Allen's not getting sacked as much as Ben was.
That's also because of the rule changes and because of how weak these defenders go at quarterbacks.
Yeah, so that point is really not as significant.
Yes, it is. Are you trying to tell? Really?
It's not a comparison. It's similar for the two because Ben took a lot of hits, a ton.
No, I'm saying are you discrediting that in this league it's that getting hit by a defender is less likely to happen?
This guy. No, you're not listening to what I was saying. I was saying your point's not that relevant because Ben was sacked literally 45 times a season for over a decade, and he missed a bunch of time because of that. That's it. So I mean, the comparison trying to draw between the two is really it's not that comparable.
Yes, it is comparable.
Stop. They're going to be hit a similar amount. Josh Allen's not going to take severe more wear and tear. He's not being hit as much or more than Ben was. They're both getting hit often. That's it.
All right. I disagree with that a lot because he does take a lot of damage. Now, I will agree with you. He does play in an NFL league that is friendly towards quarterbacks. Like the point I was trying to make was that if you look at it, you can't tell me when you watch an NFL game how many times the defender's got a quarterback in his sights and you see and you're like, how the hell did he not sack him right there? And most of the time it's because they're scared that they're going to get a whistle called. Guy, you can't even put your body weight on a quarterback or you're getting called for roughing the passer. There's the play with the Chiefs and the Patriots, and Justin Miller's played very well, where Tom Brady is wrapped up for a sack by I forget who the defender was. And the defender lets go so Tom Brady can run straight into the end zone. If that was 10 years earlier, Tom Brady would have been on his ass. Because defenders nowadays are so scared that the ref is going to blow the whistle on them and they're going to get 15 yards and screw their team.
So that's an exact reason why Josh Allen, this is sustainable. I mean, if he starts to slide, cut his rushing attempts to how many rushing attempts did he have?
At 122.
Okay, you cut that by 40. Cut that by 40. And he's just sitting in the pocket throwing from outside of the pocket. It's sustainable. The league protects the quarterback.
Not when you leave the pocket, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
You were contradicting your own point before, too, right?
No, I'm not. I was just making that point that I'm not contradicting myself. I was making the point. Oh my God! All right. For the point that because John thinks that I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. I was just making that point. All right. But to what Justin said that he's going to cut, I don't see him cutting the rushing attempts in half. They've only gone up. Like, do you really think Sean McDermott's going to call less running? Or I don't even think it's really Sean McDermott calling less running plays. He's calling more passing plays, and Josh Allen is just escaping the pocket and running for however many yards he gets on that play.
Sean McDermott's not the Bills play caller. It was Brian Dable.
You said he's not the best play caller?
Brian Dable's calling plays, not McDermott.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that I don't even think again, all right. That was a minute point of what I said, John. The takeaway was that they're calling passing plays. Regardless of who's calling the plays, they're calling more passing plays, and Josh Allen is just taking off and running with it. That was my point.
I was just saying you're blaming the wrong guy. That's
I wasn't blaming him. I just said that they're calling more passing plays. I'm sorry I mixed them up. The ball's not even there anymore, so that doesn't even matter. What I'm saying is, again, Josh Allen is choosing to run the ball more on his own accord. So if you're telling me there's going to be a mentality switch in him, that he's going to stop running the ball as much as he is, what he's been doing for basically his whole career, I would argue against that point. And I'm sorry to say it, but I don't really see a long career for this guy. The contact, the shots he's going to end up taking and accumulate over time are going to add up. Because yes, I did say that we're in a different league and it's friendly to the quarterback in the pocket. But once you're outside the pocket, you're fair game, unless you slide, which he does not. This is still football. You still take damage. We can all agree on that. This is football. Okay. Somebody could dive into your legs and you got a torn ACL, you're out for the year. Happens. So, again, but my whole point is, you guys steered me off into it. My point is this guy is not a top 5 quarterback when you compare him to my top 5. He's just not.
There's only I'm looking at the schedule right now, and I remember you saying that they didn't call enough running plays. So there was two instances where I'd say I agree with you. That Jacksonville game, they lost 9-6. Josh Allen threw for almost 47 times. You don't need to throw 40 plus times to score 6 points. That's I think it's time to hand off the ball. So I'm with you there. There are certain instances where they can hand off the football, but I don't believe they trusted Devin Singletary or Zach Moss to be a bell cow back. That's just my perspective of, if you're not going to trust the running game, if you're not going to call the running plays, then there's probably a reason behind it, you know? So maybe this year, I feel like they're going to take more caution into Josh Allen. They're probably going to call less running plays for him and probably telling him, yo, don't just leave the pocket. You're a great pocket quarterback when you're in there. Like he diced the Patriots up when they were protecting him in the pocket. So I still believe this guy's a top 5 quarterback. I'd even go top 1, like I've said before. But
okay, so
I don't feel like there's any change.
That's my whole argument, right? How is this guy your best quarterback in the league when he hasn't done what every player and what every team plays for, which is won a Super Bowl?
Okay. To me, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at the Super Bowl thing because that's a team thing. That's a ultimate team thing. You can't do that if your defense is surrendering points in how many seconds the Chiefs scored?
13, but
13 seconds. That's on the defense. That's not Josh Allen. That was a slugfest. That's on the defense, not Josh Allen. Josh Allen.
But you could say the same thing. The Chiefs defense didn't show up.
You're right.
We're not talking about the Chiefs defense. We're talking about Josh Allen.
That's my thing. So Josh Allen did everything to put his team in position to win. It comes to a point where you're just like, okay, now it's up to you. The game in the AFC title game, Patriots versus the Chiefs, it was up to the defense. You got to make plays, man. You had to make plays. Tom Brady's going to get you into position. Then it came to a point, defense made the turn. They're like, all right, Tom, now it's your job. Now
again. So you're doing the thing that I just said people do. is you think that, oh, Josh Allen beats the Chiefs, he's automatically in the Super Bowl. No, he had to get
I
through
didn't
the
say that.
Cincinnati Bengals, though.
I
And
didn't
then
say
he
that.
had to get through the Los Angeles Rams.
I didn't say it was a guarantee. I never said. I'm talking about it's just an example how it's not just the quarterback's job. Everybody has to put in their work. Everybody has to do it.
Okay,
So
but
Josh Allen can't play. He can't play safety. He can't play cornerback. And remember, this is a Bills team that was missing Tre'Davious White also, so they were missing their top DB. Listen, man, it's not all Allen. He could win a Super Bowl, but all the pieces have to come together. Tom Brady's won 7 Super Bowls because all the pieces came together. Eli won 2 Super Bowls. Why? Because the pieces came together. He made the timely throws. The defense made the timely plays. You need your whole team behind you. So I'm gonna say, yeah, he is a top 3 quarterback. And why? Because of the production that he puts up. This guy's running for 700 yards. I'm gonna praise him for that. He's throwing for 4,400 yards. I'm gonna give him his flowers for that. 30 plus touchdowns. I'm gonna give him that. Listen, I'll live with the interceptions if he's gonna throw me that, but he's not throwing me into losses really. When you look at the record, he's not.
And Stafford, a guy that Brand has ahead of him, led the NFL last year in interceptions, and he has, streaks where he plays poorly. He's a streaky guy. And beyond that, let me say something. You're going to cut me off before I can even speak.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of luck that goes into winning a Super Bowl. What makes football such a beautiful sport is it's an ultimate team game. This isn't an individual sport. I mentioned basketball. Basketball, an individual like LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard can go on an insane finals run because he can play on both ends of the floor. He is one of the 5 players in his team. Josh Allen is just one of 11, and he can't play on the other end of the ball. And like I just said, so much goes into winning a football game. Yeah, maybe the Bengals could have been the Bills the same way they could have been the Chiefs. Their defense steps up big time. Joe Burrow doesn't play a great game, and their defense is what brings them to the Super Bowl. That's what makes football special. One guy's not going to win you a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, you have ahead of him, hasn't won a Super Bowl in over a decade. It's not all his fault, is it? Because we talked about this before. Justin wasn't on that defense of special teams as well, man. Your kicker can't make a field goal. You can get your team in position to win the game. But if, like that Vikings-Seahawks game where Blair Walsh who couldn't make a 29-yarder, is that on the Vikings QB for not being able to say his team to succeed? Because he did his job.
But see, again, you guys are you're putting words into my mouth. Have I ever said it was Josh Allen's fault they lost that game against the Chiefs?
You say he's not top 5 because winning's a quarterback stat and he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. So, yeah, he's not top 5 just because he doesn't have one, but a guy like Stafford does.
Yes, but that's not the question I asked you. Did I ever say he was the reason they lost that Kansas City Chiefs game? Have those words ever come out of my mouth?
No, but you saying that he's not in your top 5 because he hasn't completed the ultimate. He hasn't reached the peak. So I ask you, let's rewind. Matt Stafford doesn't win the Super Bowl. Is he still in your top 5?
Yes, and let me tell you why.
Was he in your top 5 the season before that?
Let me tell you why. Because we've had this argument before, and I forgot that you guys forget that I say it goes without saying that my top 5 is still filled with elite quarterbacks playing at an elite level. So when you accompany elite quarterback play and winning production and winning the big one, you are a top 5 quarterback. To go back to the year before Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl, and then you asked me, did I still have him? Yes, because now it comes down to who do I have more faith in? Because neither of them have won the big one. Now, who do I have more faith in? I have more faith in Matthew Stafford. That would just come right down to it. That's what I would say to you. I have more faith in Matthew Stafford. I believe he's a better leader. He's a clutch quarterback, one of the clutchest in the league. He's got the arm talent that can compete with Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Josh Allen. Like, you can't tell me Matthew Stafford can't make every throw that they can make. He was doing no-look passes before Mahomes was even in the NFL. Before Mahomes even freaking got out of high school, Matthew Stafford was doing that type of stuff. So, again, I mean, he's still got one of the strongest arms in the NFL with elbow tendonitis. Oh, and one point John said he led the league in interceptions. Yes, we know Matthew Stafford's a gambler with the football. He's very Brett Favre like that. But also he's in a new system, brand new system. And again, He also, midway through the season, Robert Woods goes down. So all that chemistry goes out the door. Then you bring in Odell Beckham Jr. and you have to regain chemistry with him. Is that not valid? Or
It's valid. That was just one of my points, though. You're saying Josh Allen's regression was part of your concern for not having him that high, but many quarterbacks will drop from 69% to 63% completion percentage every other year. You know, quarterbacks like Pat Mahomes, he's been 63 point or 66.3 over and over again. Not every quarterback is going to have the same exact completion percentage. Even Mahomes, he had an insane record-breaking 50 touchdown de facto rookie season, but since then he hasn't gone back to that level. He's regressed technically. That's what you're going to gauge to look at his production to say, oh, he's not the same quarterback, because you're using that to apply to Josh Allen.
yeah, but I mentioned a 16-point drop off in QBR. That you can't explain with, oh, that just happens. That doesn't just happen. 16 points is a drastic drop off. I'll give you 3 to 4 to 5. But 16 points?
Mahomes, from his record-breaking sophomore season to this last year, dropped off 16 points in QBR.
Yeah, because we saw what Mahomes was struggling with, right? There's a reason for that, because Mahomes had to learn how to play fundamental quarterback. And he did later in the season. He started to take what the defense was giving him and not go out of the pocket and make all these crazy throws, because that's not necessary at times. You can just win from the pocket. That's what basically every quarterback in the history of the NFL has done that are Super Bowl winners and won from the pocket.
I was looking at quarterback rating. It was actually 18 points, so even more than Josh Allen.
All right. But again, like I just said, to explain that, how do you explain Josh Allen's drop-off?
I got a question
for that,
Brandon. Yeah.
Yep.
What would it take this year to catapult Josh Allen in your top 5? Because I'm assuming he's probably what, 6, 7, 8.
I have it. Hold on. Right there. Josh Allen is number 8.
Okay. What does he have to do to get the top 5?
We'll see. Okay, so they're all, my whole top 5 are Super Bowl winners, right? Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Stafford, and Russell Wilson.
I'm assuming, correct me, I'm just going to guess, you have Deshaun Watson over him?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert?
No, I have Burrow ahead of him. Herbert's right behind him. So I don't think he can get into my top 5, because if he does win a Super Bowl, then it comes down to who do I trust, like I said with Matthew Stafford before he won the Super Bowl. They both don't have one, so I'm going off which quarterback do I trust more, right? So if they all have Super Bowls, then my thing is, which quarterback do I trust more then? Because they're all validated. They all won Super Bowls. They all have elite numbers, right? So which one do I trust more? I will take my top 5 currently over Josh Allen, because I trust them more than I trust Josh Allen.